Hello and welcome back everybody, Bloodless Knight here with another World of Tanks video. Here to let you know that the new update is now out for World of Tanks. A whole lot of new things was just added to it. Changes of vehicles, new maps, the whole shebang. So with that, there's a lot of things going on here that I like to get through. So without further ado, let's get right into it. 1.2 is now here, or 1.20 if you want to go for that. So now we have the new map, Oyster Bay, one of the newest features in. I have yet to see it. It looks very interesting. It's awesome. It looks like a revamped version of an old island map they had. It definitely looks like it. Over here on the side, you had the beach side that everyone went to. You had the cliffs in the north, as well as a nice little beach side up here that you go through. It literally looks like an old revamp of the islands map that I remember very well during my time in console years, which I believe that map's gone too on there. But so many interesting things. Here's one in the northern part of the map. Nice little alcove. If you could somehow sneak around, but you have to beware. You can, you can definitely get right in here, peek around, prevent people from going in. It literally is the old islands map. That's what this is. So I can't wait to finally get in and try this map out just to see how they revamped it, because it's completely redesigned. Another volcano. We need more. So I really can't wait to try this out. Completely revamped, completely changed. And if anyone remembers how the old one was, it was a lot of fun. Now that's interesting. They have planes launching. I don't think he's going to sit here and launch, but then again, I could be wrong. So it could be part of the new dynamics they're going to add in the whole thing. Mitsubishi Zeros! So I can't wait to try this out. A trench to go in, and it looks like you can go up in the airfield, so you might stop that Zero from launching. So this would be interesting. You can come down this way. Looks like you can get your tanks right here, whereas they go this way. So I can't wait to see how this will play out. I'm excited. It's, again, a revamped of an old map. Moving on down, now we're doing tournaments and challenges in your garage. Now, as it says, make it easier to find and enjoy tournaments and challenges that you want to participate in. So with that, let's get into further details of what this is, because I'm not too sure of it myself. I'm going to skip the video. Participate in World of Tanks tournaments and challenges, whether you're a second seasoned veteran or a new player. Plenty of ways to take part. Exciting strategic gameplay with friends and in-game rewards, including gold. That'd be interesting. Upcoming. Registration open, closed, in progress. What kind of tournaments do you get in, though? 7 vs 7 tier 10s, 1v1s, 3v3, 10v10, tier 8s? Oh, okay. So whichever one comes up and you register in. So kind of like brawls in World of Warships. 1v1s, 3v3s. Not sure how the 1v1s will go, especially with the certain state of how things are. Also, another thing that'll hurt so much, especially for tier 10s, is if the rewards are banned or not. If they're not banned, I wouldn't bother with it. So that's what it seems. It's not showing anything rewards here, so we'll wait to further updates to see how this will go. Let me know if you're going to give it a try, if you've tried it before, if it's any good or worthwhile to at least, try it yourself. Up to 7,000, 1,000, 3,000, but you got to be best of the best for those. So we'll see further updates about this. It just seems to do something just to go and get gold. So I don't know if I'll partake in it. Probably not. Now going further down, vehicle rebalancing. Now this is the big, huge, hot topic that's been going around everywhere, including with one particular tank. Right here. So it's a nice, big topic. We're going to get right into it just to explain more. We're going to get to explain more about it and my thoughts on why I believe they did what they did with the Progetto 65. So vehicle rebalancing, this is the biggest thing that's been going around. I saw a few already earlier today of people playing, especially the Centurion Action 10. I saw a few playing this now. So with it, they did a lot of changes, some on tier 9s, a few on tier 10s, as well as some mid-tiers to help improve the gameplay and balancing other things out, considering how some were going goblin mode or god tier, whichever you want to pronounce it as, of destroying the meta. And then you had some that were just not even being played at all, like the Centurion Action 10. Now, what they did with the Centurion Action 10, of course, gun reload, 0.6, so it's 8-second reload now, better dispersion, and a better top speed, so it's more maneuverable to keep up with certain other tanks that do better than what this does. One of the biggest ones that I was excited for was the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. Now, they definitely gave this thing finally some love because it is the lowest win rate tier 10 in the entire game and was misconstrued on how this is played. The only issue I have with it is what they buffed. They did not improve its camo rating. It's going to be the second lowest camo rating light tank still, with only the Sheridan behind it. And the Sheridan is still having problems as well. But what they did for it, same reload speed as the Centurion. Better dispersion, better aim time. So they made it a much more accurate light tank, so it's meant to not only find everyone, but brawl with them, which I don't know how this is going to brawl. It has no armor. But at least it'll be a little bit more fun, and you can get a whole lot more damage yourself, because this is one of the few light tanks that can at least do something to benefit the team, other than just finding others. Next, the T-57 heavy tank. Aim time, reverse speed, and dispersion when moving. Now, it does help for the 4-round autoloader when you're constantly moving and trying not to get hit while you're unloading your entire ammo magazine on the enemy. The only issue I still have, it's still not a heavy tank. To me, it's not a heavy tank. It has no armor in the turret, no armor in the hull. It gets penned by everything. Very great DPM, though. But it's not a heavy tank. It cannot brawl with others. You either have to come out, sneak out, and actually kill them with your 4 rounds. If you don't, you're in trouble. So, good thing they increased the reverse speed. It still needs to go a little higher for what it is. It's not a heavy tank. But at least it finally got some love after all these years. And then last but not least, the final tier 10, the one that really needed it the moment it came out, Rinoceronte. Now, reverse speed, okay. Velocity of its 411 shell, which I believe is the AP shell, yes, it's standard shell. But the biggest key was this frontal turret armor. Now, it may seem not much by only increasing it by 20 millimeters, but with how sloped the tank is already for its armor, that was increased. That was heavily needed to be increased. It was penned by everything that wasn't even gold. It was penning it. So it definitely got the love it needed. So I haven't tried it out yet. I'm going to eventually just to see how the Rinoceronte now performs, especially now with the new Battle Pass. It is part of it. So that was good. It got what it needed. More armor. Yay. Now, in addition to these tier 10s, like I said, down here in the British vehicles, Centurion 7.1 also had its dispersion and hold traverse improved, as well as Centurion 1, to match the statistics leading up to Centurion Action 10 to make that grind a lot easier and understandable. And then the German vehicles, now here's the interesting thing. British, they did the tier 8 and the 9. The German light tank, only the tier 8 Hawk 12. The Hawk 12, similar improvements to its dispersion and hull traverse to be more competitive. Notice how the tier 9's not on here. The Arius-Spähpanzer 251. That didn't need anything. That was already still a very strong tier 9 light tank. A very strong tier 9 light tank. So it did not need much improvement. But again, the Hawk 12 did need it. Which will also get down further. You'll see the tier 7 as well. Now for the American branch, they didn't do anything else with that. The T-57 just got its slight improvements, which still isn't much. I still think they need to do a little more for it. Quote unquote. Armor. Come on, Wargaming. Make this thing a heavy tank. But they didn't do anything else with the line. The rest of the line is still doing fine. T-54E1 is still capable of dishing out a lot of damage and surviving for tier 9. And the only problem is the T-69. That one, I believe, later down the road, they're going to look into doing a lot more changes and different changes to that tank than what the T-54E1, T-57 Heavy will receive. And then the Italian branch, the others were fine. The tier 9 was the best one of the heavy tanks. So the others were fine. They didn't need improvement. It was just the Rinoceronte, particularly its frontal armor. Now, on to the next one, the mid-tier vehicles, tougher and more dangerous. I don't know about that second part. But the ARV-39. RLV. Earl. Reload time of the 90 millimeter was reduced. Now, there was a whole spiel of reasoning why the 90 mil was reduced. Let me go right here because I don't have the tank back yet. Yes, doing this all the way through, no editing, because I'm still not skilled at video editing right now. I'm still working on it. So here's the two. You have the Tier 7 and the Tier 9. And then you have this 105 right here. The reasoning is because people were still using the 105, spamming gold and doing more damage. So that was the reasoning why they went and did the 90 mil to reduce as loud, to make people use this gun because it's the final gun. I used this gun because it was a lot better. Easier to pen with its regular rounds because I'm not a, trying to think of a nice term without swearing. I'm not one who just basically oppresses the entire game by spamming nothing but gold. I'm not that person. I like to play regular rounds and play the game it was meant to be played as. So 212 is a lot better than just 165. So that's why I went with the 90mm DCA 45. So that's nice that it's being reduced by 1.5 seconds. So instead of a 9-second reload, 7.5-second reload. So that's going to be a very interesting one to get back and try out to see how well it is now and how much improved its DPM is with that powerful of a gun for a Tier 6. Top speed. That didn't really need much improvement in speed. I got everywhere just fine. And of course now, again, I haven't tried it when turbos came out. So interesting to see how that affects it. Tiger Porsche. The Tiger P. Not prototype. Porsche. This is Porsche's design. This thing had a lot of love too. It was just, it could not perform anything because this is Porsche's design of the Tiger 1, and what they did in game was made some of the aspects similar to the Tiger 1. The hull, not a problem. You can still pen it, but not like a Tiger 1's hull. However, the turret matched the Tiger 1's hull. No armor. So that was a huge issue with the Tiger P, whereas the Tiger 1 is meant to brawl out and can move. This thing cannot move. So what they did, they improved the reload of the 88L71 because the Tiger 1 had better DPM than it. Improved the dispersion, improved the durability of the turrets, as well as the frontal armor of the near term turret, which is the final turret, the one that's rounded. And again, improved reload speed. So now 0.9 seconds on both, 8.2 to 7.7. Yes. Dispersion from 0.12 down from 0.004 from where it used to be. Yes. Durability only increased by 50 HP. Still not much, but for a Tier 7 is actually decent. But that frontal armor, man, increased by 100 millimeters. Ooh, I'm tempted to get this thing back before it comes back on top of the tree. Ooh, that's massive. That is massive. That might make it to where people will demand the Tiger 1's turret be buffed. I don't know, but that is massive for this. That will make this tank very enjoyable to play. Change the meta? No. There are other Tier 7s that are more powerful than this. But just very enjoyable to play. Can't wait to get this one back. IKV-90 Type B. I do decently well with this. So to me, I don't understand. Its dispersion did need improving because for the Tier 7, it was very horrifically inaccurate compared to the rest of the line when the Tier 8 is where you start getting to be the most accurate tanks in the game. And the aim time, again, 2.3 down to 2 seconds now. I didn't have much of a problem other than its dispersion, but I don't know. I'll have to try and see how this goes. But I didn't have much of a problem. But it's just me. I know a lot of other people struggled with this tank when they got it. So hopefully it's a nice improvement addition to make this one more smooth for you to get to the UDES. Now back to the German light tanks. Here's the Spähpanzer 1C. Now, it got the same thing just like the rest of the line, just like the other tanks did. Reload time with its 90mm F1 gun and then the 90mm Mikhail gun. All reload time went down. Now this 90 millimeter is the top one. As you can tell, is why it's up here twice, because this Mechar gun, yeah, dispersion improved on all of them as well. So it made the tank much more accurate, which, let's take a look at it. I have it. I actually got it back. Let's see. Here it is. So yes, I finally got it back before it went out. It's not ready yet. Ah, the Mechar is... I got it wrong. Forget everything I said. So... with it, this is... the dispersion of both these guns are improved. So it's making the tank much more accurate. It did have a very terrible dispersion. Very terrible aiming. That's the struggle with the Schmähpanzer. With most of the German light tank lines, up to the tier 8, it had terrible dispersion, not great concealment, and very, very, very poor DPM. So that's a good thing for it, to get it going, for at least to be able to play and at least do something. This was one of the hardest light tank lines I did. So it's nice that they're getting some love. Next up, the T-43. Now, the issue there, I don't think this is going to be the only improvement they're doing. As you can see, a flat rate round on all of them. 0.06 dispersion, gun dispersion during movement, and with suspension, and traverse. Like, just improved gun handling all around. I think there's going to be another set of buff to at least make the T-43 unique and decently be able to keep up with the other Tier 7 medium tanks. Because the issue with the T-43, when you move up from the T-34-85, you are still stuck with that same 85 millimeter. And all the T-43 is, it's just the T-35-85 now up at Tier 7. Not much of a difference between it. It was almost identical all the way through, other than more HP. So T-43 is a struggle for many players in this game. Just, it wasn't much of an improvement. So I have a feeling this is not going to be the only time that we see an improvement to T-43, but this is a nice start. Make it more maneuverable and better aiming. Up next is the Comet. I gotta say, I was not surprised about this one. I really wasn't. Comet did need better dispersion. It really did. Because of all the Tier 7 medium tanks I played, and yes, I have played them all, it's the Comet I had the most problem with, because, again, its dispersion was very bad. One of the worst dispersions of all the Tier 7s. I had a better time with the T-34-100, the T-34-1, which really has a horrendous dispersion, but at least a very good layout of a tank and armor. The T-20, I had a much more enjoyable time with T-20. It had better dispersion, better aiming, even with the 90 millimeter. The thing about the Comet, though, it was still extremely fun. Comet is just... Comet's a whole different beast. You may not be able to hit a whole lot unless you go point blank, but you can literally just run around rampant and have a whole lot of fun with this thing. So it's nice to see that dispersion has improved, which really helps for what this Comet's supposed to be doing. It's very fast, very mobile. So it'll be interesting to see when I get this tank back. I don't have it back yet. And see how it performs now. See if I can get it to at least match or beat what I do in the T-20. I don't think it'll ever beat what I do in the T-20. T-20 is the best Tier 7 medium tank. By far. A-44. Another Tier 7 medium tank. The other Tier 7 medium tank for Russia is also getting some love. Aim time and dispersion, much like the Comet, its aiming was awful. Was extremely awful. Despite the fact the A-44 has a 107 ZIS. 107 millimeter, which is really good. But its dispersion was awful, just like the Comet. Again, the T-20 is better than everything, including the T-34-1. Sorry for those of you that look at statistics, but the T-20 is better. You just have to know how to use it. So, but yeah, this very much helpful, especially for the A-44. Rear-mounted turret, it's supposed to not side scrape, but peek out and fire, and then peek back in. It's basically what I call a peekaboo tank. It just peeks its head out in the corner and then instantly zooms back in, and I've had a lot of success with doing that. but not a whole lot of damaging success because, again, it's, as you see with this dispersion, 0.45 now down to 0.43. That is still very inaccurate. So you are meant to be a brawling tank, but you cannot really brawl much. So it still needs some loving, but it's a start. So I would like to see how this performs now. And here's all the statistics of what I just showed you up here, of what they're doing with all these. And now this one. This is now getting to a hot topic for many players, of other players right now. I'm sure you've seen other videos talking about it, had their own opinions. I'm not going to go into heavy details. They do a better job at that than I do. But just to cover this, overperforming high-tier vehicles, carefully measured changes. Carefully measured changes. Nice start. And then overperforming. This is the key word that's actually kind of like, no way. For one of them, that's not part of it. So, first one, the infamous AMX M4 MLE 54. The one medium. I'm thinking French. Ooh, okay. The one heavy tank tech tree that was outperforming every other tech tree heavy tank, including a few of the reward ones. Not the two that need to be obliterated, but it was just insane. Now, what they did, so they enhanced it to be a frontline brawler. Problem is, it was enhanced too much to be a frontline brawler. They studied the statistics after such improvements to its combat effectiveness, we decided to slightly adjust its performance and update 1.18.1. But after monitoring performance, this menacing heavy in random battles for several months can clearly see that these adjustments were insufficient. What they're meaning here is, oops, we made a mistake. So now this one was supposed to, so 1.18 they buffed it way too heavy. 1.18.1 was supposed to bring it down. It did not bring it down far enough. So now it came down to where they decided to go even further and slightly change to the 130. The buffs they did to the tank was fine. The problem was it was the 130 millimeter. And the reason for that, the 130 was supposed to be the haha funny joke gun. So let's go take a look at that real quick. Where are you at? Right here. As you can see, I don't use the 130. This is supposed to be the haha funny joke gun. Difference between the two parameters, as you see, lower penetration, longer reload, slightly more damage, but for some reason, same DPM, despite worse accuracy, same DPM. They now made it a frontline brawler, and what got away with it about being a frontline brawler to now withstand hits, it made it to where they were getting away with the 130, as they can literally stand there much longer periods without much suffering to be able to reload in time and fire the 130 again. And because people are following the meta most of the time, or are literally those who want to ruin everyone else's fun, of course they're going to load the gold. They weren't going to fire AP. They were going to load the gold, so increase their chances of successfully hitting everything with this gun. That was the major issue. It was the 130 millimeter, not only the 130 millimeter, the gold rounds. Perhaps if they've done something else to it when it came out, it would have been fine. Like, I don't know, nerf this gun entirely by its pen. But what am I to say? I always keep going here preaching that gold rounds are ruining this game, but nobody listens. Yeah, as usual. Moving on. So what they did with the 130, they made its aiming time worse. They made its reload time to 14, as we just saw, and its dispersion up to 0.36, as we saw, because it was matching the 120 for some reason. So these, as well as dispersion during movement and whole traverse, was also changed. And they say hopefully it's to correct the effectiveness that they accidentally did. And for some reason, they're doing the same thing to the Tier 9 and the Tier 8. So, yes, we buffed it But we didn't realize that people were going to spam gold all the time. Really? You didn't realize they were going to spam gold? They're still doing that today. They've been doing that for 13 years. But no, they nerfed this one, which, okay, the highest best statistics of a tier 9 heavy tank in the game, because, well, you start with the best guns right here. So 0.34 dispersion, still not bad. 2-second aim time. So not much of a change there, so that's still good, especially when you get this turret. Don't go for that. Just don't. It's that much worse. Don't. So instantly you start with that, and all you have to do, because you don't need the suspension first, go straight for the turret. Congratulations, you now have the strongest tier 9 ready to go. So thankfully, the nerfs on here does not change it much. So it's still going to be a very worthy, fun tank to have. Now, as for the tier 8, which I do not have yet, not you, I have to get it back. Why, oh why, they nerfed this? Why, oh why did they nerf this tank? I don't know. Now, it's not much of a big nerf, but it's the same characteristics, so its dispersion's worse. I don't know why. It's still not the prettiest looking tank, but it doesn't need a nerf. In contrary, it needs a buff. It needs a major buff. A major buff needs needed to it, especially mainly to the turret itself. 250 is still not enough, especially when you have that big of a cupola sticking out way before your gun sticks out. And not to mention that your gun depression is still pretty bad, despite being in a very large turret. So that is a huge issue. And what a lot of other people, experienced players like myself, do with this tank, we don't take this turret. It's 250, but it's too wide, too flat, and you have this giant cupola sticking out. It's too easy to pen, even without gold. We stick with the 100mm, which is the better of the guns, and then stick with this turret. Much better, much sleeker, 250 as well, but not as flat and hard to hit. Of course, with the exception you still have a giant cupola, but not as big as the freaking moon, what the other turret has. So a lot of experienced players still stick with this. Yes, we are willing to suffer DPM just to have better survivability, because this turret's just far better. So please, Wargaming, buff this turret the way it's supposed to be. That way we can have fun with this tank. It does not need a nerf. It needs a buff. So that's one sad aspect of it. So, congratulations to those who abused this. You nerfed a tier 8 that didn't need to be nerfed. Now, this is the tank, as you've seen from the beginning of the video, that everyone is complaining heavily about. The Progetto 65 and their reasoning why they nerfed the tank. And yes, I agree with them. There is no reason for them to nerf this tank. No reason for them to nerf the tank. So how do they nerf it? Well, they reduced its reverse speed from 23 to 20 and nerfed its dispersion, as well as made the upper glacis of the tank, which is right here, now specifically easy to pen as if you're firing at a Leopard. The reasoning is because they say it has become extremely popular in the past 6 months, despite the fact it still only has a 49% win ratio. And not only that, is that it also became top 3 in terms of average damage dealt. I didn't even have to look at statistics or look at other videos to even know that that's a complete fabrication. No way that the Progetto 65 is in the top 3 damage. Now, and then there's also others point out of an actual reason why it became very popular, why everyone was playing it within the last 6 months, which now is going all the way back to September. Because back then, there was a battle pass that had advertised the Progetto 65. So people were playing the tech tree to get the Progetto, get this is the battle pass skin. Then they did on track or top of the tree for the Progetto 65 again. So people are now trying to play that line to get this thing, as well as play it during that time to improve not only its crew, to also get field mods unlocked. And that's all within the last 6 months. So they made it to where this was heavily going to be played within the last 6 months because it favored it. Battle Pass, more Battle Pass points. Top of the tree, guard ahead and get this thing faster or improve your crew. So for them to say it became extremely popular, we have to nerf it, you made it popular. You made it popular, Wargaming. Not the players, you did, because it's still only a 49% win ratio. And then to come out and say that, oh, it was better damage than all other medium tanks at tier 10. Nope. I didn't even have to look at statistics, and others already found out. The Lion's now surpassing it, which is a brand new one that came out earlier this month, and is just literally very powerful. You have the 1-2-1, which is outperforming it now. Now the Centurion Action 10 is going to get ahead of it with its buff, most likely. The TVP 5051 is one of the ones that offset the Progetto when it came out. And then you have other tanks that were just doing better. You have the E50M that can still do better. The Leopard 1 is the most played tier 10 right now, with also better damage than the Progetto. And where the Progetto sits at of all the tier 10s, excluding the rewards, where the Progetto sits at with all these tier 10s is in the lower half. So for them to come and say that because it was so popular and then became the top 3 in average damage dealt per battle, I guarantee you it became top 3 when it was Battle Pass for everyone to get the Battle Pass points as fast as possible. So for them to nerf this, there was no reason for them to nerf it. They just did it anyways. Now, for my opinion, why they nerfed it, this came out. I mean, seriously. They nerfed it soon after this came out? And they come up with those justifications when we already proved that that's not the right justification for it? That's my reasoning why they nerfed it. So that's just complete wrong. And then the standard B got nerfed, and the standard B needs a serious buff. So, Wargaming, there's no justification for you to nerf it. You just did it just because. Most likely, in my opinion, just because the Lion came out and you want to promote the Lion to be stronger. And it came out as a reward vehicle, and you're not touching the Lion. There was no reason for you to nerf the Progetto. So, please, Wargaming, reverse your decision and then buff the standard B. And then last but not least, the T110E3. It definitely needed to be nerfed. It started becoming a huge powerhouse that everyone was using. Nobody was using the T110E4 much anymore. T110E3, so much frontal armor, such heavy HP, and then also being a tier 10, really good V range that you can nearly max out, so it supports itself. As stated with a lot of other people in their videos, yeah, it needed to be nerfed. Decreased its HP pool, decreased the V range heavily. You may think it's not. 20 millimeters is heavily, especially with 3090. With a good crew, you can max it out. Reload time reduced from 17 to 18, which was needed. Because 17 seconds, that does shoot about as fast as the E100 with the 15 when you get a crew in it. And then aiming time reduced. It did have a very good aiming dispersion and everything. Fairly accurate for what it was. And literally can take the time to sit there and fully aim because of how much armor this thing has. And then again, to maintain consistency, there'll also be decreased in T95. Also down to 360 now instead of 380. So now the T95 won't be able to see anything, which is good for snipers. And the reload time was nerfed as well as its aiming time. Which, that to me is good. Because now that makes it to where on par with the T30. So, now, that's not to say they're going to be easily killed. It's just more balanced for people to at least adjust to them. Instead of them just sitting there going, ha 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 ha, and I'm going to shoot you 3 times, you're dead. So that's how it is with the buffs and nerfs of all that. That's the most, probably the most throughout this entire video. And again, the biggest controversy, I'm still not going to go heavy. Just my thoughts. Reverse this decision, Wargaming, and then again, my thoughts why they nerfed it is because the Lion came out. Just my thought. So, now back to what else did they do? Map balance. Ooh. And again, this is going to be a little bit longer video than usual because there's a lot in this, but this is my favorite part. So yeah, I did take a look at this before I started the video, and I gotta say, this has me way too excited. So of course, Oyster, it now hits. I can't wait to try that out. I haven't seen it yet. I can't wait to see how it is. It's a revamped version of the old Islands map they had. And then now map balance tweaks to airfield, steppes, and mines. So, here's what it looked like old. And this one, airfield seems going to be like a lot more engagement and fun in airfield. I can't wait to see this one. They're not out. I don't believe they're out yet. It's in the common test right now, so it's not out yet. These are all in the common test servers except for Oyster. Oyster's out. So I can't wait for these to go live because, oh man, these look already amazing for what they do. So here in airfield, the central direction. It was reworked to make gameplay more comfortable for heavily armored vehicles. Now, here's the before, and we're going to go slowly just to see. And here's where we see the first change. Hold up, what's it doing here? Oh, that's a huge change from its sniper spot. So, how it is now, of course, you have to drive up here and then risk getting shot across the field just to get up to this area to at least have an overlook view around everywhere else. They have now pushed it back. Not to mention got rid of this alcove to where you can't just sit and hide or zoom in to sneak behind enemy tanks. They have pushed it back further this way. You still have the alcove here to look this way, and then another alcove here to at least cover here. Not to mention, they made the rocks taller. Now, there's definitely more reason to get more cover from artillery because this is still a heavy arty zone. It's arty sits here or back over here on this side of the map and can shoot these lanes. Now it's taller, making it more difficult. And also notice another thing. The center has shifted as well. Instead of being further back this way, it's moved this way. And they did the same thing on the other side with the sniper's alcove too on that side. So then they changed the rock formations here. So now you got this little sneaky way that you can sneak around and not get hit by the snipers in the back corners. And they made this nice little alcove here to where if you are dominating and you somehow sit right here. Or as a last stand option, like, I'm the last one, come at me. And notice how they added a hangar. Because before, there's this giant rock here that was in the way that they can poke out and shoot over here, but this side didn't really have it. That didn't provide much cover. It was in a very odd position and easily shot over here. They now added an airfield. And I'm pretty sure it's indestructible just like the ones down here. So this looks already fun to me. They even changed a little bit here with more bushes so you can hide better. So from that to that. I can't wait to see how that is. More engagement, less people complaining of already bombarding them, less complaint of hiding in the corners to snipe, more promotions for heavy tanks to engage even here. So I can't wait to see how that will go. And there's more to what they're doing to airfield as well. Now they're changing the driveway from center hill. So I'm not going to go slow again, but I'm going to go fast. So here to there. So there's all the changes in the center that you're seeing. Just like they're doing to both sides, and an easy way for both to get down, especially here. An easy way for them to emergency get down. So that's what they changed, and as you can see, here's the center lane. It shifted. But what they're talking about, a driveway in Central Hill, is right here. So as you can see, you can't get up here. Now you can. It's right there. Other than that, not much change. There's not really any changes down here. So now they added that, so it's easy axeway for heavy tanks position, all these things. Then the third one, positions for light tanks were improved. This is the one that I'm excited about. Oop, nope, that's not it. No. Whoop. That's still blue. See if I can get that off. Nope. Oh no, it's blue. There we go. So see, completely open, light tanks risk everything just to get here and usually die a whole lot. Now look what they did. There's now ramps and more rocks for them to hide and engage in. That's where I feel it's going to be quite fun. So now I'm pretty sure we're going to see more medium tanks up here too. So I'm excited for Airfield now. I really am excited with all the changes. So I can't wait. Steps, they even did a few things in Steps here. Not much though. Steps is the one that's not really changed a whole lot. They're more improving the northern side team because they have the most disadvantages. One being the back hill here. You can't hide much. You sit in the rock. Everyone knows you're there. It's very small. You just easily get shot at. Whereas South has an entire mountain range to hide in. Here's the improvements. Voila. Now they're adding more rocks, more alcoves. The only thing I'm concerned is I do not know. I'll have to see what people do in the test server. I do not know if you can get in here to get up here still. They might have blocked this off. So you won't have that high elevation, which this one had the high elevation here. You most likely won't have it anymore, but you'll have much better spots to help defend yourself with because that was a huge issue. You couldn't stop advances from the west side of the map because, well, you didn't have much cover. Now you will. So that'll be interesting to see how that changes. And then again, the hill. Now here's the cool thing. This one I'm going to go back and forth just so you can see it. So before, after, before, after, before, after. Do you see where it's changing? Right here if you picked up on it. So here it is completely flat. They now raised it up. As I said, the hills extend as a defensive cover for the upper base. So it makes it to where you can't get over here. You're easily able to get shot this way. Not to mention, when the enemy pushes west and comes up here, you do not have a defensive spot right here to prevent them from getting into the cap. Now you have somewhat of a better position. Not overly powerful, but it does help. So, not much change to steps, just for the northern part we just needed. The one thing they still haven't changed is the eastern trench all the way back here, which they still need to heavily fix. So, that's about it with steps. Not too excited. Mines. I hate this map now. It's not meant for tier 6 or up. And not anything higher than tier 6. That's the problem. Now they're getting changes. Thank you for finally changing this map. Now let's go over the changes. The driveway to the islands of H2 and H3 for the southern team, so this little island alcove here, it's now safer. And this is what they did. Whoop. They now raised the hill here compared to what it was, made it elongated, threw in a rock in the center, and then they got rid of the water spots here and raised the ground up so that you cross over faster, have less water resistance, and have a much safer time, as now there's ways to block the vision or shots from you getting shot at. Because North Team still has just this small area, not to mention they're not affected by water and can easily get up here real easily without being seen. So that's a nice thing for more teams to get down here and engage, because now you're not stuck in the rock too. You can actually poke here just to help out with that. Now the other instance too, for anyone who got into the island, whether it's north or south, for those who are fighting in the center, cover was added in square G4, the center up here, providing some protection from enemy fire from the small island right here. It also allows you to defend against vehicles occupying the small island. So as I said, right here in the center, and you already saw one right there. Instantly you can see rock here, and as you can see what it is. So here's where you're seeing it from the small island. You can literally see up here, shoot, if your northern team gets that, you shoot the enemy here, prevent them from having this position, or if you're occupying, prevent the enemy team from coming up here and easily shoot them up here. Now, notice what the rock did? You can't see it. You cannot see it. And this one is to help those who are right here. Not to mention, there's another thing they changed. Right here. See what they did? They added another rock right here. Again, so that the north team can try and get in the hill and not get shot at. So that's the thing. So now the island is not advantageous. It's unfortunately making it to where it's not advantageous in the center, but does help the southern team if the north team takes it. And then this one's the biggest one. I can't wait for this one. Cover was added at the corner collision point of for the lower team, not the north team, the southern team. Ooh, this one has me excited. So without further ado, here's what it looks like before, and you'll usually see a big change. Huh, where'd that come from? Here's a house, here's stone walls, and there's two other changes that I'll point out. So here's where the house was before. They moved it. Oh, no. No, it's blue. There we go. So they took this house, and they moved it over. And this house cannot be as one to where I don't think can be destroyed anymore. In fact, actually, it wasn't able to be destroyed earlier, I don't think. I can't remember. So they moved it over to provide cover, and then they added a stone block here to provide cover for up here, so that enemy can't hide up here and just shoot them out. So that's good. So that's two of the changes they did. So more cover up here for enemy teams to at least get up here. And then more options for the lower team to actually sit here and brawl out in the center. Now, there's two other changes, too, that are really significant, this one. And part of it is in the last part here. But I'll point out in this picture. What's that? Whoop. And it's there. They included a house right there. And notice what it aligns with. There's Sniper Hill right there in those bushes. The house is now in the way. So now they can't just happily sit there and prevent you from coming around the corner. And yes, you may think, oh, that makes it too strong now for the lower teams to easily go because now we can't shoot them. There's another thing. This goes both ways, too. So now they can come up here and actually poke their heads out here with the building in the way. Goes both ways. So now it makes it to where it reduces the effectiveness of the sniper spot now. That is huge for the southern team. And the other big thing, which is the next picture, watch right here. There are now rocks in the way. The north team cannot sit up here and shoot you from here. That's what this is. No longer possible to shoot heavy tanks from the mountain at the bottom of base in Square E7. Like, you can come down, but you can't shoot them here. That is huge. Ooh, that's going to make that corner much more fun. And then again, here's that house that I was mentioning too. House covering the collision point. So it makes it to where snipers will have a hard time. The house will make it to where this team can easily get in here more frequently without the sniper position hit. The only issue is this one, I think, is a picture because it is different up here. But looking at this, I'm hoping it's not that close to the wall. Because, see, it's sitting on the road. I'm hoping it's not that close. Again, these are in the test servers. There will be minor changes. But I'm really hoping it's not that close, because then that hurts the North team a lot more than it should. So those are what they're doing with the maps. You can go into the common test server and get the test client installer and test it out yourself to see what it is. Give some endpoints to do it. Like if I was on there now, I'd say move this over this way a little more. And just to see it, maybe give them more ideas to figure out how to fix steps, because they're only doing two things. There's still more things to be fixed. But mines and airfield, I really can't wait. Airfield started getting stale. Mines just started becoming just unplayable when you're above tier 6s, so I can't wait for that to come out. So let me know what you think about these maps. Let me know how you think of Oyster. I haven't tried it yet. And let me know what you think of these changes. Will you like them? Do you think it's going to improve it? Is there anything else you'd like to do on these maps? And then last but not least, finally we're getting to the end. New items for bonds. And this, I'll tell you this, I literally face planted my face on my desk when I saw more tanks, customizations, and improved equipment to the bond shop. Okay. That made me faceplant my desk. I couldn't believe it. Cannot believe it. The Beijing Opera. The bow. So the story, for those of you who have watched me in my streams earlier, especially a year ago, last year's auction, the 113 Beijing Opera came into the auction house. It was only in the Asia servers. They finally released it outside to US and EU servers. NA and EU servers. The problem is, minimum bid was at least 22,500 gold. I threw down 25,000 just to have fun, because I'm like, there's no way I'll get this thing. There's only 2,200 being sold. I'm sure collectors will get this. There's no way I'll have it. End of the day, congratulations! I'm like, oh crap. I got stuck with the 113 bow. Then I found out that not even half of them sold. Cool. Now here it is being released as a bond tank. Nothing I can do about getting that gold back. It was a year ago, for one. Two, I had it a year prior to everyone else. So that's where the justification is why they're keeping the gold away from me. I would like that 25,000 back, Wargaming. I really would, because now that's just cold. Oh, that's cold. They did me dirty like that. Oh, now I know how all those with the Type 59 gold felt when I got mine for only 5,000 gold. Oh, that hurts. So yes, the 113 Beijing Opera is now in the Bond shop, or going to be in the Bond shop. In fact, let's take a look at it now, because I didn't take a look at that yet. Doo-doo-doo-doo. And yep. Oh. You all get it for free. I spent a lot of money for my Christmas boxes. Oh man, that hurts. That hurts. Other noticeable tanks, which I can go through here because I remember what they are. Lorraine 40T. Not the 50T, the 40T. The really, really high-skilled tank. I do mean high. You need really good high skill for that tank. And then one that really surprised me. T-23E3. That shocked me. 6,000. Here it is. One of the rarest tanks to see in the game, and it's back for free. So I am real happy about that, because now I'm like, ooh, rare tank is back. Yay! That made me real happy. So, yeah, I read this. Punch to the gut, then excitement. So I'm like, sweet! So that's good. I can't wait to get my hands on this to finally see what it is, because there's not really a whole lot of reviews on it. You barely see it. So I can't wait to get my hands on it and see how it is. I already have the Lorraine 40T, and yes, you saw I paid for the Opera. I did it as a joke and ended up with it. Other than that, there's a few other things, including 3D styles for the 60TP, STB1, and E100. Now, which ones are those? Well, it is not the Warhammer model, unfortunately. The ones you're getting for it, where are you at? Oh, I got heavy tanks. There we go. STB1. A really cool model. I really like this one. I'm not using the Ogre one. So this one's real good. I love this one. This one was cool. Christmas camo, by the way. The 60TP's Christmas camo as well. Where are you at? Right here. This one. Or is it this? No, it can't be this one. Is better, but still using the Christmas. And then E100s, which I'll show you that one. It's, again, not the Space Marines. Klarer Himmel. So let's go take a look at that and see if I can see their bonds. I don't think I can. In fact, it probably won't even show me because I have them already. Here it is, exterior. Oh no, they're right there. Yep, see? Klarer Himmel, the 41, the first one I showed you, and the Winter Lotus. So those are the three I showed you. 3,000 bonds. That's not bad. Really not bad for Christmas camos. Even more. Yay. Can't wait to see what others are going to throw in. That's actually nice. That makes it to where those who did miss the 3D style camos all the way back from 2018 to now there's a chance for you to actually get them back. So that's a nice addition. 3,000 bonds though, but hey, something good. But again, oh, that hurts. And I can't, unfortunately, let me know in the comments how much this is, because I can't see how much bonds this is. Is it 12,000 or 15,000? Oh, that's a big punch. Anyways, that is it for me. Battle Pass would be, everyone knows it's self-explanatory. A lot of other people looked at it. Battle Pass is Battle Pass. It's Season 10. So, not much of that. I've already started, as you saw. So, that's going to be it for me. Let me know what you think down in the comments. What are good? What are some of the good things in this patch? What are some of the bad things? Is there anything you'd like to change? Did they do good or dirty for the Progetto 65, which I believe they did really dirty. It's very wrong, very unnecessary. Any other changes you would like for improvements of balancing? Any changes for the maps? What do you think of them? What do you think of Oyster? I'm very curious on Oyster. Let me know down in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And do hit that subscribe button. It really helped me out, since I still cannot get on Twitch simply because of my internet issues. So all you got to do is just hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. And until then, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.